Hold on, is this an Apex video on an Apex Legends channel? What? This is how it's gonna go. I'm going to rank every single legend from S tier all the way to F tier based on how good they would be in solos. I am also going to suggest how to make a legend more suitable for a solo game mode. If I want to, of course. And obviously everything is my personal opinion. I am not a professional Apex player, so what do I know anyway? I just came here to make a video. Our first legend is Bloodhound. Overall, they're a very solid legend. His tactical is very useful for scanning enemies, since it's so easy to use and lasts up to 4 seconds. The full body scan only lasts 1 second though. The only real flaw I can think of is the 25-second cooldown, but that can of course be reduced by one of his perks. His passive ability to see the footsteps of his enemies is there, but the White Raven is way more useful because you can recharge your ultimate with it, with another perk of course. The ultimate is probably the best aspect of Bloodhound. That is because the enemies are always highlighted bright red, which is extremely useful, because when you can actually see them properly, that usually results in you hitting more shots, which means more damage, which means more kills. And in my experience, kills are very good in this game, which might not be so obvious, especially to my teammate. Of course, the best thing about it is the 30% speed boost, which helps a ton in 1v1s. And also, back then when Solos was around, high speed legends were usually picked the most. So I think this high speed meta is going to return if it ever came back today. That's why I think people are gonna prefer legends like Octane or Bangalore. For the upgrades to the legend, I would choose Hunting Ravens and Taste of Blood. I feel like the other two upgrades are more beneficial to your team, which you don't have in solos. In the end, I can comfortably put him in A tier of the solos tier list. You can make the argument that he is S tier, but I think A tier is enough, because I don't feel like Bloodhound is a legend I have to play in solos to succeed. Which is why I'm putting him in A tier. Up next in line is Gibraltar. His gun shield is still absolutely great for encounters in all ranges. It's basically extra 50 HP when you zoom in. And it's even better when you crouch, because it covers your whole body. His bubble is useful to heal up during a fight, but also the side effect is that all fights become longer than they should be, so there's the chance of third parties happening. The ultimate is quite decent. The best use I can think of is probably using it with your tactical and defending yourself from oncoming push. Otherwise, I don't see much use out of it in a real game, except for maybe throwing it at two other people while they are fighting and pushing. You will probably use your ultimate like maybe once or twice a game, and that's probably it. The upgrades I would recommend for Gibby is probably killer handling and baby bubble. First one is quite obvious because you don't have teammates. The smaller bubble gives you more time before the enemy reaches your bubble to finish you off.
Because it's smaller.
I am giving him a B tier, mainly because of the gun shield. Up next we have Lifeline. Just to get it out of the way, the passive is useless. Okay, let's move on. Her healing drone is obviously the strongest. It heals you infinitely for up to 20 seconds, which is really good. And it's also incredible to combine it with a shield battery during or after a big fight. Obviously, I wouldn't rely on it during a fight, especially when you're getting shot at, because it only does 8 health per second. So it's better off healing up when it's safe, behind cover. Her ultimate provides some loot, but it also alerts the whole map of your location, so that's not very good. Honestly, it's still better off as just providing cover during a fight, because it takes only 8 seconds to land, and the loot is still not worth jack shit. But she also has a relatively small hitbox, so that can be quite useful during a 1v1. For her upgrades I would say Tactical cooldown ++ and Last Stand, which gives her a self-revive. You can also choose the care package to get some great loot, but I am not willing to risk it, so choose whichever one you want. In my own controversial opinion, I am putting her in C tier. Of course, I could be completely wrong and you guys will flame me in the comments, because she might be one of the best legends in solos. But we will see about that. Because up next we have Pathfinder. Pathfinder has been always really solid, so I don't expect him to be anywhere lower than A tier. His passive is fine, because scanning care packages for a smaller recharge time is always useful, so use it when you can. His grapple has always been absolutely wonderful and should be used in any situation. You can use it to escape from fights, to engage in a fight, or to just reposition around your enemies. It's just great overall, not much to say. The zipline honestly gets better with less people, because less people means less guns to shoot at you. And combine that with the extra speed it gets now, pretty much you'll always be safe on a zipline in solos. For his upgrades I would choose the Death Grapple, because it allows you to be more aggressive. For level 2, choose whichever one you want. It doesn't matter, really. After all of that, I just have to put him in an S tier. Honestly, there is no argument against it. Wraith. Wraith mains have always been known as the League of Legends players of Apex Legends. Meaning, they stink like shit and have never had
a single vegetable enter their mouth in their life.
Since we got that out of the way, we can go back to ranking Wraith on our solo tier list, if you don't mind. The voices she has that warn her of danger have never provided any worth to anyone, so we can skip over that right now. Her tactical has always been really good and it's probably the reason why most people play her. Of course it isn't what it used to be and right now it takes a lot of time to activate it and you're pretty much gambling every time you use it, especially when running away. Because most of the time they will chase you down, even if you have 30% speed boost during the phasing itself. But if you are good, it is still a very good option to reposition. I honestly don't know what use the portal has outside of maybe using it to disengage from a fight when you're 1v1ing in a building and catching them by surprise from behind when they use the portal. Otherwise I would probably just use it for the speed boost to run away from the ring or a mid-range fight. Plus it also makes you able to use the tactical like it's season 1, which is way safer than using it as intended. She also has the smallest hitbox in the game, which gives her a huge advantage, because I think legends with smaller hitboxes are gonna do significantly better in solos. For the upgrades I would use Tactical Upgrade and Quick Shift, because the ultimate upgrade is quite negligible and you know damn well what I think of the passive. In the end I am putting her in B tier. I think she's a bit better than Lifeline, but she isn't the legend she used to be. Up next in line is Bangalore. Her passive allows her to run faster when she's getting shot at. Is there even anything to say? Her smoke bomb does exactly what a smoke bomb does, it covers an area. Honestly, I'm just running out of ideas what to say at this point. What do I even say about it? It's great to run away from a fight, I guess, or to reposition. I said that a million times already. And the ultimate is pretty much just Kibi's ult, but a different version. Honestly, if you need to run away, just combine all three of them. Use the ultimate to send down the airstrike, cover yourself with smoke, and use the passive to get the speed. It just works. A tier. Also use ultimate artillery and refuge. Caustic. Let's see, what do we have for Caustic? Gas vision. Gas barrels. And big gas. Wow, okay. You can heal in gas. And he can make his big gas radius bigger. Cool. A tier. Now, here's a legend I actually wanna talk about. Mirage. Can you guess why? I'm just gonna come out and say it. I think he's going to be one of the best legends for solos. While I do agree that he doesn't have much team value and is pretty much overlooked anywhere else, especially in the pro scene, I think for solos it's quite a different story. First off, his passive I think is going to be useless unfortunately, because I have not heard of the self-revive returning. There will be respawn tokens instead, but that doesn't help Mirage at all. While his tactical can be used quite well against one enemy to waste their bullets and finish them off while they're distracted, I think his ultimate is going to be his gold mine. I really think it's going to be that good. It's also the fact that with the level 2 perk you can just get it every 30 seconds, which is pretty much broken. You can go behind the wall, use the ultimate, the enemy is going to waste half their magazine on the decoys, and then you finish them off. And as soon as another one comes, just do the same thing and you're safe. Either way, I really think it can be that broken if you catch people off guard. And honestly, it might make some people even want to learn Mirage after all these years. A great Mirage main is always going to be better in my book than a great Wraith main, because there's way too many Wraiths. Even more, I think it's just an excellent escape tool that can just get you out of almost any situation, if you use it wisely and there's always cover near you. When you get to upgrade Mirage, make sure to use more of me and Bamboozle bonus. When you get good at bamboozling people, the second decoy becomes pretty much useless. Okay, after all that, my final grading is F tier.
You got bamboozled, look at...
Alright, up next is Octane. I do have to say that Octane is definitely one of the best legends to play solos, and you can't even argue with that. He has the aggressive playstyle, the speed, the mobility, the movement, and the escaping potential. Basically, he's just a force to be reckoned with. That's why I'm putting him in S tier, and these are the perks I recommend. Wattson can be a bit of a wild card. She is great at defense, but sometimes that defense can be detrimental to you, if you know what I mean. Wattson's playstyle is probably way too passive for a solos game mode, because absolutely no one with at least some kind of brain cells is going to try to walk through a fence and kill her, so that's just going to drag out the fights for way too long. She's just gonna get swarmed by a huge number of players, because every fight is gonna take 5 minutes. But her shield healing is nice though, so I'll give her a B tier. Use renewable energy and power pylon. Also, I don't know why I split the list into 2 boxes, so I'm just doing one now. Crypto is honestly a great spectator, but an absolutely shit solo legend, so you might as well not even bother using him, because as soon as his drone is gone, that's his whole kit is just non-existent. And then you have to wait fucking forever to get it back. That's our first and probably only D tier. Let's go. Also use this and this. Revenant is absolutely going to be a broken legend. First off, he has an absolutely beautiful, easy to use tactical ability, which allows you to travel long distances with almost no downside. It's also great for almost any situation. He can also climb walls higher and crouch walk faster, which gives him stealth potential. The ultimate straight up gives him 75 HP. Fortunately, you don't have to aim down sights to get that bonus. In a fight, that's going to be a lot more useful than Gibby's 50 HP arm shield. There's been a lot of S tiers today, and for good reason. Unsurprisingly, Revenant is another one to the list. Loba's fine. Her tactical is pretty good, but it does take a long time to travel. Her passive can highlight some good loot, but it isn't that important. The black market isn't exactly game changing, but you can take some good loot from a distance, so that's a plus. Anyway, she is going in C tier, based on just the fact that she is really not that useful mid-combat. Next up is Rampart. She is a great defensive legend, but you can also do real well with an aggressive playstyle. I imagine the gaming merchant is probably having a field day going through lobbies with Rampart. The walls can provide a good damage bonus, but it's probably better used as a distraction, so you can shoot them while they shoot at a wall. I'm putting Rampart in A tier, just because nobody uses LMGs in solos, but it might also be because I can't hit a single shot with a minigun. Horizon's definitely going to be a popular pick, just because of her passive, which does significantly more than just reduce the impact of your falling for some reason. But unfortunately I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. She also has great repositioning potential, and she also gets aimbot on the gravity lift when my enemies use her. And the ultimate pretty much makes everyone way easier to shoot, so no doubt it's another S tier. We have the explosive boy to talk about, Fuse. His greatest advantage in this game mode is going to be third partying, because his soul kit is basically suited for this sort of thing. Like basically you shoot out of your mortar first and surround them with the fire, shoot the tactical in the middle, and then finish them off with the grenades. Basically a perfect third party legend. His tactical's good for defense too, I guess. Anyway, he is A tier. Honestly, if I keep ranking the legends this way, it is going to take me all year. So I'm just gonna do a quick fire round, and then we will talk about the newest legend, Ultra. Sorry if you think this is low effort, but honestly I'm sick of doing this and I want this to be over with. Alright then, here we go. Valkyrie gets a B, because she got overshadowed by an item. Seer is C tier, because I still haven't seen anyone use him. Ashe is also getting a C. How are you the first legend to ever canonically phase and you are the worst at it? Mad Mackie is going in B, just because no one has enough patience anyway to hide behind the wall. Also, there's a way better passives and ultimates in the game. Newcastle honestly is significantly better with teammates, but his mobile shield is still nice though, so he gets a B. Vantage is also getting a B, just because it's extremely hard to not get shot out of the air with her dookie movement ability. Catalyst is honestly just a better Wattson. She is also better at moving around the battlefield because of her ultimate. So she gets an A. B stands for Ballistic, which is exactly where it belongs. The most useful ability is the speed boost and the infinite reload, but everything else is just kinda meh and barely works. Conduit is obviously getting an A, because in Waterworld is getting up to 125 temporary shields not overpowered. Nice, that was the last one. Now let's talk about the newest legend, Ultra. Nothing really changes about her passive in solos mode, but at least you don't have to worry about it revealing your location now. Both her tactical and ultimate ability are great escape tools, I have to give it that. One thing I'd like to point out about her tactical is I like to do this thing called baiting. Basically, when the enemy has high ground and you are at the bottom, let them hit you a few times, then once they jump after you, you use the tactical at the ceiling above you. You can use it from any height and it should still work. And if the enemy follows after you, you still have the upper hand, because you can hear them. As usual, nothing really changes about her ultimate in solos, so here are the perks I recommend for Ultra. It's gonna be Void Vision and Tactical Cooldown. I feel like Void Vision is better for decision making, that's why I'm going with that. My only reasoning for the Tactical Cooldown Plus is because if you're smart with the ultimate, you won't need an infinite timer. Okay, finally, the final legend of Apex Legends is for a solos mode is getting an A tier. I think this is the part where I tell you to like and subscribe. But all jokes aside, thank you so much for watching. And I know damn well this video should have came out way sooner than it actually did. The thing that keeps me from releasing the videos on time is probably the fact that there's so much talking. I cannot do it. In this video alone, there's about 200 voice recordings, because for the love of God, I can make a clip longer than 5 seconds. Since we were on the topic of liking and subscribing, at this point you might just do it. Come on, I'm waiting for you. Anyway, that was the whole video. I don't know when the next one is coming out, or when, but hopefully I get to see you there as well. Farewell, motherfuckers.